so let's talk about energy efficiency. Okay, we are talking about CYPETHERM EPlus in this case. Actually, what we did in this release is to integrate two applications that were separated in the previous versions. Okay, so actually, the new feature is the integration of CYPETHERM Improvements Plus. That was one app into CYPETHERM EPlus. That is another app. Now we just have one tool that is called CYPETHERM EPlus. Okay, so the idea is this energy simulation. You can do it using CYPETHERM EPlus, and then you can compare different solutions, different designs, different models, different simulations to analyze which is the best one when we talk about energy consumption and energy demand, comparing these improvements or these different solutions using this second tool that was called CYPETHERM Improvements Plus. Okay, now you see that they are integrated. Let's take a look. And see a little bit how it works now. It's quite similar to the process that was in the versions, the previous versions, but now they are in the same program. Okay, so here in the Cype menu, when you navigate here in the tabs in the energy and acoustic simulation, now you can't find CYPETHERM improvements anymore. You find just CYPETHERM EPlus. Okay, so you can run both in both situations. You can just open CYPETHERM EPlus. When you create a new file here, you have to decide if you want to do an energy simulation as it was in CYPETHERM EPlus before, or if you want to analyze the improvements measures using this option that was the old CYPETHERM Improvements Plus. Okay, and here you decide what you want to do. Okay, to show a little bit how it works, I already created some energy simulations using this first option here. I created two scenarios. Let me show a little bit to you how are these scenarios. So I created here a restaurant that are called Restaurant Scenario A. Okay, a very basic model. This is the interface of CYPETHERM EPlus. I have here a BIM model that was imported using the BIMserver.center system. And I have here some spaces, some doors, some building elements, some doors, glazed openings, the library of thermal properties of our building, the energy properties of our building, including here the zones with the different systems, okay, that were considered in this model to then analyze it and have a demand and a consumption of this building. Okay, here I have all the general data with everything related to the production of hot water, location information. In this case, it's a city in France. Okay, energy sources, and even here I can manage the catalogs related to the systems that are included in this little model. Okay, this I'll call a scenario A. And look that in the building elements here, I just defined some very basic building elements on my screeds, roofs, and walls. I don't have any type of insulation. Okay, just very basic systems here. Probably even they are not within the limits of the codes. Most of the European codes, for example, probably here we have problems with condensations. So yeah, it's just to show to you a little bit how it works. The idea is I'll compare one building with these solutions and a second scenario that is going to be the scenario B that I'll show to you, considering different types of insulations in this building elements. Okay, to compare both of them and see what is the result to this location. Okay, to this model, I will share this first scenario to the project that I've created at BIMserver. To do that, first I have to analyze the 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 model. Okay, so using here the energy plus system, here I have my results, my demand reports. Okay, for this first scenario with all my results here, and also the same for consumption. So I'll share that and I'll call it restaurant scenario A. Okay, it's going to be one of my contributions to my project that I've created before at BIMserver.center. It's finished. This first model is created. Now let's imagine that I want to compare it, and I duplicate this file and create a second one. I already have it, that I called scenario B. Okay, in this scenario B, what I did, it was maintain everything the same. Sorry, let me come back here to the building. I maintain everything the same, but I introduced these insulations here in all the building elements of my building. Okay, just to have some difference that could be easy to see. Same situation here. We analyze and have the results for demand and consumption. That will be the data that we really want to compare in a few moments. So let's share again, and I'll call it restaurant scenario B. Okay. Yeah, it's finished. Now, if I come back here and open my BIMserver.center account, okay, and come here to my projects, I have this project that was updated just a minute ago. So I have here scenario A and scenario B. And for each one of these contributions, we have here the different reports, the GLTF, the XML file, and also here the information that came from those that came from CYPETHERM EPlus, okay, two files, okay. What I'll do now is come back here to the CYPETHERM EPlus and create a new file that I'll call restaurant. So restaurant improvements, okay, improvements comparison, for example, okay. And instead of using the energy simulation, because I already have these results from the energy simulation, I will use the improvements measure option. And here I'll select the project that I just showed to you in BIMserver.center. So I'll include here the scenarios that I have. Imagine that in a real project, you could have much more than two scenarios. You could have like 6, 8, 10 different scenarios according to the changes in the carpentry, in the window, in the systems, not just the building elements that we did, okay, or even different brands, different types of materials. Here, there are no limits. You can create one for each one of the simulations, one model, export it to the folder at BIMserver.center, and then here you import all those that you want, okay? So I'm importing both of them. It's important that they must be analyzed before exporting to BIMserver, okay? It's important that they have results for demand and consumption. So here I am in the interface of what we in the past we called CYPETHERM Improvements Plus. In this case, we are at CYPETHERM Plus, okay? Look at here, I have two scenarios, scenario A and scenario B. The first thing that we have to do is define in this list of scenarios that could be even larger, as I said, which one's going to be the reference situation, okay? In my case, scenario A, it was without insulation, so I'll check it as reference insulation, and the item will change the color here. And the scenario B, it's going to be the improvement itself, okay, with improvement measures. If we want, we can change these names or even add a description here, okay? And the idea here is very, very simple. We can add some parameters related to the energy cost and also add some parameters related to NPV, okay? And then we'll have some details related to the cost of this improvement. So in the scenario A, for example, I don't have insulation. In scenario B, I have insulation, so I can add the cost of this insulation and then try to see when which is the best solution for this building, okay. So for energy cost here I have some parameters that I can change. We can change the currency if you want to. You can personalize that for each type of energy cost according to the model that you did before in the energy in CYPETHERM Plus. And here you can also apply some data, other economical data to analyze, for example, in 10 years, if I will pay or not this investment of adding the insulation or not. So you can analyze and have like a economical slash uh, energetic simulation here, okay? So I'll just add these parameters. And for scenario A, my cost is going to be 0, okay, because it's just the basic scenario. And in the scenario B, there are some options here where you can add like detailed view of quantities, where you can add in these tables here associated expenses, maintenance expenses, financial needs or budgets. Here you can describe everything related to this improvement that you considered in your second model. Or you can just use one estimation like this. So I'll just get this one just to have something quickly here, okay? With this information defined here, um, You just have to take a look on the results, okay? And in this case, you see a little bit the differences between two scenarios, okay? So for example, here, there is a result summary and have a reference situation and then the scenario B. So the investment, it was 750 euros in this case to add all those installations, for example. And here I can see the annual energy cost for each scenario and how much we save it in with the second scenario, okay, and then the emissions, how they change it in we can see here the difference. No, we can also see here a little bit the annual consumption of non-renewable primary energy. We see here a difference of having or not that insulation. So yes, we can see that difference. And we have here different improvements, measures analysis. For example, for heating, we can see the initial and the improvement situation here. For heating, we have a positive situation for that for cooling, okay? For sanitary hot water and lighting, no changes because we just changed the insulation, so nothing happened here with the energy demand or consumption of sanitary hot water production or lighting, okay? Yeah, but here you can see a little bit the differences. And there are other kind of results that you can get from this analysis and also the methodology that was used here. After 10 years, here we can see the energy savings, the savings. If we had maintenance cost, we also could say here and see the total savings here. And then you can decide if it's better to add your insulation or not in this case. Probably, yes, it's necessary because in this case, probably even for other aspects like the code or the minimum that you must have in your building, probably the insulation were mandatory. But yeah, this was just an example to show to you how it works. Okay, so yeah, the new feature is now CYPETHERM Improvements Plus is integrated into CYPETHERM EPlus, but to work with it, you must have different files. One file for each one of the simulations, energy simulations that you have, and another file to integrate all the different improvements that will come from these different energy simulation models to compare here using the options for improvements measure. Okay, once you finish here, if you want, you can share these results, these reports to the platform and call it whatever you want. Okay, and then the BIMserver.center platform we also have a new folder here with the improvements where you can then download these PDFs that you just generated here using the CYPETHERM EPlus. Okay, so that's it. That was the new feature for CYPETHERM EPlus in this version 2026B release.